Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and trial at www.audibletrial.com/WCSN312. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Ice Cream Social is your one-stop shop for everything in the entertainment and media industry, ranging from sports, politics, automotive, celebrities, and of course, controversial topics. With your favorite host, Mondo, dedicating most of his time to making sure he provides his listeners with the latest and greatest in entertainment. Don't miss a beat and follow the Ice Cream Social on Twitter at ICS_podcast and subscribe on iTunes, Google Music Play, and SoundCloud. Tune in every Sunday for another exciting episode of the Ice Cream Social, the podcast everybody is craving for.
They say humans are social animals. They can't live alone. But you can live pretty well by yourself. I tell you, instead of feeling alone in a group, it's better to have real solitude all by yourself.
Chicago, thank you, and welcome to WCSN, the Windy City Sports Network. I'd like to take this moment to talk about our social media outlets and the platforms you can listen and find us on. You can follow us on Twitter at WCSN312. Like us on our Facebook at Windy City Sports Network or at WCSN312. We also recently just joined Instagram, and you can follow us there at WCSN312 as well. We post all our shows to listen to on our social media outlets. If you're driving to work, you're driving back home from work, working out, or just chilling at home, pop on your headphones. You can listen to us on many platforms. Number one is iTunes. Our goal is to become a top 100 podcast. We need your help. By going on iTunes, rate us by giving us 5 stars and subscribe. We're on Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, our original platform, SoundCloud, Overcast, Castbox, Podbean, the podcast app, and most recently, Google Play. Search for Windy City Sports Network and you'll find us there. All platforms are free to you and available on iOS or Android phones, tablets, Apple TV, or any mobile devices or computers. We are beginning to do quick live pre-shows on our social media outlets, so make sure you follow or like us there. We will be live on Periscope, which is via our Twitter, and Facebook Live before every live broadcast. Lastly, you can watch us live. Interact with us via the chat rooms on our newly launched YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, search Windy City Sports Network, and subscribe to our channel. You can watch us live or watch any of our older podcasts there. We created our YouTube channel for you, our fans, to interact with us during our shows. Ask us any questions, and we will spew our opinions. We will be broadcasting CSCR, Chicago Sports Crunch Radio, every Friday at 7 p.m. live. And bi-weekly, every Wednesday at 7 p.m., WrestleTalk Radio will be live. Only on our YouTube channel, so subscribe now. If you have any questions, you can use our social media outlets or email us at windycitysportsnetwork@gmail.com. Like I have said many times before on this show, this is a passion project. We don't make any money off of this, and we have expenses, equipment, distribution costs, etc. If you guys enjoy our show and would like to buy us a beer, you can, and it would be greatly appreciated. Go to our Patreon page, become our patron, and you can donate as much as you want. We will have rewards updated monthly in return. Just go to our Patreon page at Windy City Sports Network. Again, remember, we are WCSN, the Windy City Sports Network, built by the fans, for the fans. We would like to thank all our affiliates and sponsors for supporting WCSN, the Windy City Sports Network. Here's a quick message from one of our affiliates. Thinking of starting your own podcast? Don't know what software or distributor to use? It's real easy and simple with Podbean. Go to podbean.com/WCSN312. Podbean is the world's leading podcast publishing platform. Over 100,000 people worldwide choose Podbean to create their podcasts. Your all-in-one podcasting solution. With Podbean, you create professional podcasts in minutes without any programming knowledge. Best of all, everything is mobile ready right from the start. You get unlimited podcasting, comprehensive stats, custom branding, reliable media hosting. You can share almost everywhere and get huge audience engagement. The community in Podbean is over 172,000 podcasters, over 5.8 million episodes, and has 5.4 billion downloads. Plans go as low as $9 a month for unlimited audio and $29 a month for unlimited video and audio. If you go through our link, you get your first month free. Give them a try. Go to www.podbean.com/WCSN312.
Welcome, everybody, to WTR WrestleTalk Radio. This is the show that brings to you the highlights from all things wrestling and sports entertainment. From WWE to TNA, NXT, ROH, and so much more, WTR is here to focus on what makes wrestling so damn entertaining and fun to watch. We are live from Studio 1 of the WCSN, the Windy City Sports Network. This is WTR WrestleTalk Radio.
It is 4 days away from WrestleMania, guys. A huge weekend. We're going to be glued, literally watching wrestling Saturday and Sunday. If anyone's married out there, you're going to have problems with your wives. But it's going to be a pretty big weekend for wrestling fans.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And we have a ton of stuff to go over. Not just WWE, but we've got like some stuff going on. We were just talking about this before we went live. Sorry, we were a little bit late too, guys. We went on like 9 minutes behind, but we have everybody is in New Orleans. So before we go into that really quick, though, obviously I don't have to do any of that other stuff. The only thing I want to make sure we cover is go over to our YouTube channel, spread the word, subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. We want to get the more people over there. We will be on Facebook Live in the second half of the show, so we might be running a little bit longer than an hour, but we're going to be going live on Facebook Live for the second half of the show. That will probably more than likely be the WrestleMania NXT card that's going to be on Facebook. And then obviously go to our website, www.windycitysportsnetwork.com, and you guys can see the crew on there, a bunch of other things on there. And what else is on there? Oh, our affiliates and our sponsors are on there too. So you got FanDuel on there. What else? Adidas is on there. Soccer season's coming up. Just had to buy my daughter the new Messi's.
Blue Apron. And
Blue Apron's on there. I'm just trying to think. FanDuel is a really cool one. I use it. I've been using it for Major League Baseball now as well too. I only won one game so far. I usually put like 2-3 games in there. It's been weird though this year.
Baseball's been crazy to start.
Hey, Davidson hit a homer already in the first inning for the Sox. That's all I know. I just got the news for it. But in any case, guys, huge weekend. Everybody literally is in New Orleans. You have everyone and their mother. It basically starts tomorrow in a way, Thursday. I forgot the introduction. Big Nick Kold. This is Wild Bill.
What's up, everybody?
And we are trying to get this under the way so we can get this ball rolling and stuff. But it basically starts Thursday, which is tomorrow, and everyone's going to be there. Right now, you currently have Impact and
Lucha.
Lucha, who's doing a basically a co-branded
event.
Yeah, it's a co-branded event, and then you have
Ring of Honor
doing the SuperCard of Honor there
with New Japan
Pro Wrestling. So that's as well, which is a great card, and we'll go over that. You've got the WWE over there. You also have a lot of other independent promotions that are there. Basically, every high school gym, every
VFW hall.
Yeah, anything you call it, they're covering it, and they've got someone in there doing something. You've got the WrestleMania Access starts Thursday, I think
Tomorrow,
Friday.
Right.
So you've got all the wrestlers there signing autographs, doing things, taking pictures for their fans and all that. So huge weekend if you're going to New Orleans. I know the packages started on Friday. You got tickets to Hall of Fame, NXT, WrestleMania, and then you had the option of Raw and SmackDown, or just Raw, and then you leave on Tuesday. So
it's a lot of wrestling the next 5 days.
Yeah, it's an overload in a way of wrestling. But hey, WrestleMania is a good card, and I wanted to make sure I go over and talk about some of the stuff, especially with Levi on here, because I think some of the stuff we're seeing on the WrestleMania card is some of the stuff that we were complaining about as fans about 4 or 5 years ago. So in any case, really quick, I know no one really cares, but I wanted to just really go over the Hall of Fame stuff really quick. So Friday is going to be Hall of Fame. It's going to be, I believe, on the USA Network, but it's
delayed.
It's delayed and it's cut. They cut some of the pieces out of it. They don't show you the whole event. If you want to see the whole event, it's going to be live on the network. So they've basically gotten them starting it from the way I think they're going to do it until the end. You got Kid Rock. To be announced is his what do you call that, inductee? No, inductee is Kid Rock. The
person inducting him.
Yeah, I think it is inductee. No, I don't know. Anyways, the guy who's presenting him into the Hall of Fame is to be announced, so they don't know who that's going to be. You got that Jarius JJ Robertson, which has been. You've been seeing him if you're watching WWE a lot around. So he's getting the Warrior Award, and Dana Warrior is going to be presenting that. Hillbilly Jim, my buddy, he's getting inducted by Jimmy Hart. There was rumors going around that he wanted Hogan, and apparently that didn't work out, or I don't know what was going on. Then you got Mark Henry. He's been inducted by the Big Show. The funny thing with the Big Show is, you know how you watch every year? He's the one dude that's the most emotional out of everyone.
Yeah, he starts crying for no reason.
So this is going to be nuts watching him induct Mark Henry, because he may start crying as he's talking. So that's pretty funny. He's the biggest guy and he cries. Ivory's getting inducted by Molly Holly. The big one, which I sort of got shocked when it got announced, but interesting to see what happens. And there has been some more rumors floating around with that. Jeff Jarrett, and he's being inducted by the Road Dogg. Then you got the Dudley Boys, which is long overdue. That should have happened.
Deal. That's big.
Yeah, you got Bubba Ray Dudley, Devon Dudley, the Dudley Boys inducted by Edge and Christian. So that's huge. They deserve to be in there. And then you've got Goldberg, who is being inducted by Paul Heyman. That's a little weird, I thought.
I think they said the reason was because he was the guy that was putting a lot of that Lesnar Goldberg stuff together.
Yeah.
So that's why they're going to let him induct him in.
It was still a short period of time. You'd think, like, I'm trying to think, like you would think
Bischoff?
No, someone from the NWO, like I know he was tight with Hogan and Nash. I thought Hogan and Nash are the ones who brought him in.
Right, but if somebody was going to do it, maybe it would have been Bischoff. Bischoff basically is the one that
made him,
right?
But yeah, that was pretty.
Or DDP or somebody.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. The news going around with Jeff Jarrett, which is pretty cool, is now that Daniel Bryan got reinstated to wrestle. Two names have been popping up to take over as GM, and that's Hogan and or Jeff Jarrett. Now, Jeff Jarrett's not, or Vince McMahon's not a huge fan of Jeff Jarrett's, but you never know. His name's out there to take over as general manager, and it might happen. I mean, that's what happened with Angle, remember?
Right, but
he went in there and then he took over as GM right away.
I don't know. Jarrett's the same caliber of name as Angle is.
I think someone was saying that Vince just doesn't like the Southern aspect of it,
which is true.
And if you put him on there, he's going to be like, he's too Southern.
Remember, he to this day probably is still not 100% sold on AJ Styles when he opens up his mouth.
Yeah, because of his
because
Southern
of the
accent.
drawl, right?
Yeah, that is true. I know there's some bad blood between the both of them. I've obviously with him coming back, that's
But they
probably
paid for his rehab.
Dude, he looks in bad shape still a little bit. Like he's aged like 20 years in the last year.
Yeah, I would believe it.
If you look at him, like
Right.
I saw that video that went through with what's his name? Zack Ryder hugging him out in the back.
Right.
And he looked pretty rough. I was like, wow, but whatever. At least he's still breathing and he's kicking. So that's gonna be the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. Then we're jumping into Saturday. Saturday's huge. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to watch NXT live. Then I'm going to go and watch ROH on the re-record. So I'm going to watch that second. And the reason for that is my phone always gets the WWE alerts. I don't get the ROH alerts, so I won't get any spoilers if I'm watching NXT first. Then I can watch ROH second. So ROH card. When is the Impact versus Lucha? Is that Saturday too?
I think they're both going on at the same time.
Wow, that's pretty insane. So ROH card, I'm going to go over the ROH.
Friday, I'm sorry.
Ooh, so
Friday is Lucha. Friday's Lucha Impact.
So who's on that card?
What's his name? The champion, Austin Aries, Alberto Patron, right? Then Eddie Edwards against Sami Callihan.
That's going to be good.
That's going to. I don't know if people have seen what happened between those two guys.
With the bat hitting his
when
face.
Eddie Edwards swung that bat and by accident clipped the corner of the chair instead of hitting it square, and the bat bounced and busted that guy. That was pretty brutal.
I'm surprised he came back that fast.
Yeah,
Eddie Edwards.
I mean, that if you guys get a chance to watch it, that's one of the most brutal.
YouTube,
yeah,
too.
That's one of the most brutal things I've seen in quite a while in terms of a complete botch.
Yeah. So then I know you got like some feet. What's his name?
Well, that's the tag match, right? Austin Aries and somebody.
No, but
Pentagon against
Pentagon Jr.
right
versus what's Phoenix?
Austin Aries and Phoenix,
and then you've
against
got
El Patron and Pentagon Jr. And then what's his name? The girls are fighting for the championship, right?
I have no idea what they got going on there.
Allie is fighting against what's her name? Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah,
Have you guys ever seen that girl wrestle?
No.
Look at the match that she had in Mexico, bleeding. They wrestled the main event in Mexico in front of a ton of people. That might be one of the best women's matches you've ever seen.
What channel is Lucha on now?
I have no idea.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, I don't even see them anymore.
I don't know. We just probably don't. That's what the internet's for.
Yeah.
That's what YouTube is for.
YouTube. All right. So they're going to be on Friday with the WWE Hall of Fame. And then the SuperCard of Honor, that's going to be pretty big. So
that's going to be massive.
Again, I'm starting from, I think, the way they're going to book it and the way we're going to see the matches. First match is going to be Hangman Page versus Ibushi. Both amazing. I'm a huge fan of Page and his work in New Japan. So I'm really digging him. Like out of all the guys in New Japan, obviously Kenny Omega. I'm not too big on Cody though.
Well, Cody's playing the role, right?
Yeah, he's there, but I'm more into Page and Marty Scurll. Dude, that guy is not. That guy needs to like get into the WWE. He's got that character down. I think he'd be a big win for the WWE.
Can you imagine how many umbrellas the WWE would sell?
Oh my God, that's nuts, dude! I love Marty. Did you see the last one on the? I was texting you about it. This Strong Style Evolution, dude. He was hilarious in that match. I loved him. It's like, that's awesome. All right, so you got Hangman Page, Ibushi. You've got Punishment Martinez versus Ishii.
That's going to be a brutal match. They're going to beat the shit out of each other.
That's going to be rough. Then you've got the Women's Championship, which is basically a semifinal. And then whoever wins in these two matches will end up fighting right after that in the final match. And that's between Tenille Dashwood, which is Emma, if you guys remember Emma in the WWE, and Sakai. And then you've got Kelly Klein versus Atani. So rumor has it there that Emma is probably going to take it, and they were going to give her the strap for that. Then you got the ROH TV title, which is Kenny King versus Silas Young. I'm a fan of both of these guys.
Silas Young is pretty good.
He is. I mean, Kenny King, I remember him in TNA too. He's better, and he's like Jay Lethal. They're better in ROH than they were in TNA.
Agreed.
Then you've got the ROH World Six Man Tag title, SoCal and Censored, who are the current champs, versus the Young Bucks and Flip Gordon. and Kenny King is the champion. I forgot to say that. He currently holds the TV title right now in ROH. Then you got the World Tag Titles, which are the most underrated tag team, I think, out there. The Briscoe
brothers
versus Tanahashi and Jay Lethal. And that's going to be good, too. I just don't think they're going to take it from the Briscoes, though.
No, they won't. It'll stay.
I mean, eventually, if the Young Bucks were full-time ROH, I think they would have gave the strap to the Young Bucks.
But that's a no-brainer, though. But they can't do it with them traveling all over the place.
And that's the one thing with doing these co-promotions. I mean, sometimes you already know, like, if they're wrestling here in America, they're more than likely going to give it to the ROH people. You know what I mean? But and then the same thing when you're going to New Japan. Usually they end up swaying towards the New Japan guys than the guys that travel. That's the only thing with co-promotions that I don't like personally. But I mean, the quality of wrestling match.
That I was just going to say that you get the stack of card
Yeah.
from top to bottom. That from the first match to the main event,
Amazing.
Right?
I mean, that Strong Style Evolution. He recommended me to watch it. I watched it. I was blown away. I recommend anyone to watch that. That thing was, I mean, 2 hours, I think, or 3? 2.
It was 2.5 hours.
Loved it.
All wrestling.
Yeah.
No BS theatrics or whatever.
Yeah.
Just come down to the ring. Bell rings. Let's go.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, it was just an amazing match. And it was here in the States, I think. It was in California.
Long Beach, California.
Yeah.
Home of the Young Bucks.
Loved it. It was awesome. So watch it if you guys can.
And the matches were well put together on top of it, too.
All of them do. And like no one botched, no one did any of that stuff. So, all right, then you got the world title, which is going to be Dalton Castle, who's currently the champ versus Marty Scurll.
Have you seen Dalton Castle, his
Yeah.
entrance? How awesome is that?
But I mean, again, I don't
Hop
think
Hop loves Dalton Castle.
they're not going to give it to Marty Scurll.
No.
But I mean, I would love to see him with the strap, but it's not going to happen. And then the last match, which I'm more interested in watching, which apparently is going to be for the leader of
The Bullet
whoever
Club.
wins is going to be the leader of the Bullet Club. It's going to be Cody and Kenny.
Which is getting talked about just as much as Lesnar and Reigns, if
Yes.
people can believe it. That's how important. That's how it's gotten to right now with the
the Bullet
internet and
Club,
everything. That these guys are becoming on par.
Bullet
With
Club is
anything.
selling a ton of shirts.
Did you see Cody try to change the logo?
And it was all a work. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, I ain't going to do it. Cody's dude with his social media and what he's doing is amazing.
Yep,
He's
exactly
getting
right.
did you see him put Disco Inferno on blast?
Yeah, destroyed
Oh
him.
my God.
He deserved it.
That was nuts.
What the fuck is Disco Inferno
He's
done in his life to qualify him to comment about anybody?
And then did you see Chavo try to become like the mediator in the middle? He's like, hey guys, no one's right, no one's wrong in this or whatever.
Chavo's got more credibility than Disco does.
He does.
Come on.
But in any case, I don't know. Like Cody travels between ROH and New Japan.
And other
And
independents.
Kenny does too. So in a way, I know this is ROH, but New Japan owns the Bullet Club rights. So whoever wins in this is basically, it's New Japan telling them this is the way it's going to go down. I think.
Do they try to pull off between the two of them like a 60-minute draw or something? Can you imagine how good if they let them, hey, don't knock it. They might pull it off. Let's just hope that they don't screw this up like they did when the NWO broke up. Remember when they did the red and the black or whatever?
Yeah, and they had like the Wolfpack guys.
Right, exactly. Let's hope that they come up with, and I'm sure that these guys are smart enough to figure it out where they'll come up with something where.
So this is what I'm worried about. Kenny's starting the Golden Lovers.
Mm-hmm. But I think that was just a one-time shot, no?
No, they're selling shirts like crazy now.
Okay.
So I have a feeling they're going to continue with that. So I think Cody's going to end up winning just because they want Cody to run it. The thing that's weird is if you watch the SuperCard or the Super
Strong Style
Evolution, they had Tonga and those guys who didn't like Cody. So you've got a bunch of guys, and even Marty sometimes doesn't like Cody. So you've got the whole Bullet Club right now.
Split in 3 technically.
Yeah. So it's like if Cody wins and he runs it, then what's going to happen with the rest of the Bullet Club guys? So Kenny might have to win it. But if Kenny wins it, then I think you're going to end up seeing the Young Bucks in them. But the Young Bucks are such a staple in it.
But have you seen the being the elite videos that those guys do?
Yeah, but they're still the Bullet Club in a way.
Where they were talking about at the end of not trusting Cody and all that stuff.
Who, the Young Bucks?
The Young Bucks.
Then yeah, I can probably.
Because remember, Matt Jackson got shoved. Remember?
Yeah.
Kenny went to go pick him up. Matt Jackson rolled out of the ring and said, "Screw it, I'm not."
Yeah.
So they're doing a good job of teasing, like where people, but you.
That's going to be good.
I'd love to see a 60-minute job.
Yeah, that would be
and
good.
just have it draw and have them both just laying in the middle of the ring with no definite winner.
Did Scotty said, did you order the mower of the lawn shirt?
I saw it yesterday.
Yes, I did. It's on order, and on the next episode, I will have that. There is actually WWE video that has Matt Hardy wearing it too, so it's really good. Mower of the lawn shirt is cool. What does everyone else? I love it. I think it's great. They didn't whatever. He's gonna have crazy shirts coming out soon too. We'll see what happens with that. But anyways, ROH SuperCard. That's the whole card. It's a great card. If anyone can see it, I think it's 24. Oh, if you want to watch it one time only, it's $24.95. I think just for one time. If you go to their website, I think it's FITE.com, and then you can see it there. Or like the network, it's $9.99 a month if you want to watch it all the time. But I usually just buy the one pay-per-view, and because I don't watch all the ROH pay-per-views. And the reason for that is sometimes New Japan puts them on TV.
That's what the Amazon, but that's what the Amazon Fire Stick is for.
Yeah, but you don't get it for free on Amazon.
Yes, you do.
How? I got it.
I'll tell you later.
All right. Yeah, we could.
Technology at its finest.
The listeners might want to watch
Thank God for the Kodi app.
Oh, well, that's the one I got.
It's on.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Anyways, I forgot to do the intros on this on the soundboard and stuff, but whatever. Oh, by the way, Taz, did you guys hear him go like shoot ape shit on WWE?
No.
If you guys listen or have a chance to listen to the to Taz's podcast on how they're booking Ronda Rousey and how horrible they're doing with it, it's nuts. He was going ape shit, dude.
It's bullshit. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but it's he was like going nuts, throwing things in there. I mean, in a way, yeah, he does that for an act. That's his gimmick. But at the end of the day, I mean, he was right what he was saying. So I wish I can try to pop it up, and I might try to pop it up later on so people can hear it towards the end. But anyways, so let's go over NXT, and then we'll go over WWE because that's going to be a lot. So NXT card, you've got Alice. Oh no, let me start from the bottom first. So the way I think it's going to start with first is going to be the tag team.
Correct.
So you currently right now have Fish that is injured,
blew out his knee.
Yeah, and he's probably going to be out for 4 to 6 months. So what they're doing is Adam Cole is playing double duty. Adam Cole is going to be with O'Reilly in the Undisputed Era, and they've got a 3-way tag team now. So it's going to be the Authors of Pain, Pete Dunne, Roderick Strong, and Undisputed Era, which is going to be including Cole and O'Reilly. The Undisputed Era currently have the straps right now. My prediction is Undisputed continues and holds the strap.
I think so.
That way, in my opinion, Authors of Pain are going to Raw.
Jump up, right?
So they're getting promoted. Roddy Strong is going to 205 Live full time. And then Petey Dunne, I think, just keeps
staying in NXT.
Yeah, with the British strap. So that's the way I think that, and that's actually the final for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team, the Classic. The next match after that, I think, may possibly be the women's match, which is going to be Ember Moon and Baszler. I think Baszler wins it. I think Moon gets sent up too, and she goes to SmackDown.
Right, they did a couple previews on her already too, so maybe it's her time to come up.
Yeah, so that's actually going to be a pretty decent match. But Moon has the title now. I think she just she drops it to Baszler and goes up from there. Then I think they're going to go for the one match I'm interested in, or one of 2 matches in this card. You're going to have the North, and I like the title. Did you see the title? I put it up.
Old school, right? Yeah. The red belt. It looks pretty cool.
I put it on our Twitter and our Facebook account. Has an old school look to it, old school feel. And I like the name too. The name is old school, like North American Championship. So it reminds me of like an NWA territorial.
Exactly what it looks
which
like.
I love. So the match itself, though, is actually pretty good as well too. So you've got Ricochet, Adam Cole, Killian Dane, Velveteen Dream, Lars Sullivan, and EC3, who was introduced, I think, last week, right when this TNA thing went away. Now the thing with EC3 is no one really said what the E and the C stands for, right? And are they mentioning that it's Ethan Carter?
They're just saying that everything's been EC3.
So what is your
who wins?
No. What is your perception on, are they eventually going to end up bringing Dixie Carter in?
No.
She's actually been a good friends with Vince McMahon, and they've spoken already.
No. No purpose.
To be a valet for him?
No.
If they bring him up.
Please don't do it.
Oh, they will. It's a venerable. But anyways.
Please don't do it.
In my opinion, in this match, Adam Cole is getting zeroed out because he's going to win the straps in the tag team. So ain't no chance there. Dane and Sullivan, I think, are going to end up starting a feud.
Those guys are monsters.
So those guys are going to end up zeroing each other out as well too. The Velveteen Dream, I think, is going to end up fighting Aleister Black.
How good of a wrestler did that guy become?
Yeah, and he was one of the guys in the last Tough Enough.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And look how good he became. The guys that won it are nowhere to be found, and this guy came out of nowhere.
So that's a question mark because and then Ricochet, I don't think they're going to give it to Ricochet.
My prediction is Ricochet wins it.
All right, so my prediction is they're going to put the strap on EC3 so they can have someone. But my thing is, usually straps you put on people that need it, and I don't think EC3 needs it. I think he can be successful without a title on him. But and then that brings the question of, it could be Velveteen Dream potentially.
I call Ricochet
because I think Velveteen is the type of guy that does need a strap. Like his gimmick isn't, I think, all there. So I think he's a guy that needs a strap to prove that he is actually top caliber. So I would not be surprised if they put it on Dream. The problem with that is that I think he's going to start a feud. Now, I think it was going to be Aleister Black and Cole. But now that Fish got hurt, in a way, that like demoted Cole.
Right.
So he's getting down there. So I think they're going to end up working a program with Dream. So it's going to be Dream and Black now, which is now, I think, between EC3 and Ricochet. I think they're going EC3. So you said...
I say Ricochet wins the belt.
Right, and I say EC3. So that's... we'll see what happens there. That's going to be interesting. And then the match before the main event is... Or I don't know. You think they're going to put Johnny Wrestling in the main event? No,
they can't.
That's
they're gonna
Triple
have,
H. He does it old school.
And plus, that match, they're going to have to put a buffer in between. So Gargano and Ciampa are going to have to fight. Then there's going to have to be something to calm everybody down before they go back. They're not going to go back to back, barn burners like that.
Well, then they might do that and then end up going with the women's match, and then going with Johnny Wrestling and Ciampa. So the Ciampa Gargano is going to be, I think, an awesome match.
They're going to fight all over the place.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they draw blood too.
And the girls will probably get involved. The wife.
Oh yeah,
they're going to get involved too.
And I believe Tommaso wins, and Gargano gets gone, and he heads over to 205 with Roddy as well too, full time.
Okay.
Which I think they're boosting 205, and 205 is going to get a lot of talent. 205 is going to be pretty good. In the next upcoming months, they're going to get a lot of talent, and I think the storylines are going to be.
It's already getting better.
Yeah, it is currently so. And then the last one is going to be Black versus Cien Almas.
That's going to be a barn burner.
And I think Black wins, and for the simple reason, and this is the rumor going around, Vince McMahon is in love with Almas, and he's basically going to build him to be the next Mexican Hope. And he's going to, I don't know if they're going to put him on SmackDown or on Raw, but he's going to push him. And he's like Elias. Vince loved Elias, and he's pushing him.
He fits on SmackDown too. He could have some good matches with Ziggler and a lot of those guys.
Yeah, so he's going to be pushing him. So he's getting promoted. Then Black holds the strap. So the thing that I'm concerned with NXT, though, is that, and I was trying to mention this in my blog that I'm hopefully going to put out soon, NXT's got watered down. Like, if you look at all these matches, there's really only 2 matches I think that stick out with a storyline aspect of it, whereas before NXT was really good at building that, and that's really the North American match and the Ciampa Gargano match.
Right.
Other than that, there's really no backing to any of these other matches.
Well, the Amber Moon matches with
Baszler or whatever. But I don't know if it's watered down, because now you've got Borash over in NXT helping out, and you've got Michaels helping Triple H out. So I don't know if it's because of them, or like why it's just the hype isn't there as it used to be before for NXT.
But I think they're also jumping the gun by sending a lot of these people up a little bit too soon.
Well, they definitely did the girls.
Right. They did the girls, and maybe they reset too. Maybe the injury to Bobby Fish probably threw a wrench into some of the plans. Maybe Lars Sullivan and developing took longer than expected, because Triple H loves that guy.
Yeah,
So
he
that
ain't doing too well.
he's not right, but they're gonna push him because Triple H likes that kind of a wrestler. So he's not developing as much.
Yeah.
They don't have the time. Remember, they've got 2 hours or an hour and 40 minutes or whatever to try to fill with all these really, really good wrestlers.
Yeah, definitely. So that's NXT. It's going to be an exciting card. I'm really interested in the 2 matches there. I can't wait to see those. That's going to be the Gargano and the 6-man, and that's a ladder match too on top of it. So the North American Championship is actually going to be a ladder 6-way ladder match. That's just insane.
And the guys that are in it are all really good, so that should be worth watching.
Yeah, especially Ricochet. I mean,
Ricochet's going to do some crazy stuff, man. He's got some stuff lined up that's going crazy.
Yeah, if people are not familiar with Ricochet, you guys are going to be nuts. You guys are going to go nuts just watching his aerial assault. But overall, it was it's almost like Ospreay. If anyone ever has a chance to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, watch Will Ospreay wrestle. It's just insane. And he's just an amazing wrestler. But it's overall one of the greatest wrestlers or most entertaining wrestlers that I think I've seen in a long time. All right, that's cool. All right, so what we're doing now, is it on?
I'm going to call him?
Yeah. And we're going to jump into WrestleMania now. So let's see if he picks up. We're calling the president. Trump's jumping on.
Let's see if Tom Chris did his job and got everything lined up.
Yeah, let's see if it worked. Again. Forgot what he did last time to make it work. Hey, can you hear us over there, Mouth?
Oh, yes, I can, because this is the Mouth himself, man.
Oh, hold on. Let me get the volume up. I didn't think I was going to get... Oh, hold on. All right. Go ahead.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just not as loud as I wish it would be, but... All right. Is your volume all the way up?
Yeah, I'm maxed out here.
Yeah, okay. Well, we got it up there. We'll see what happens, but you're pretty much as high as we can go. But anyways, you're on, bro. How are you, bro?
Hey, I'm doing well, guys. Doing well. Watching the show, loving it. Looking so forward to this WrestleMania weekend. It's going to be pretty crazy. So I'm excited for that. Lot of stuff to catch up on. It's funny because I'm just thinking now to a couple of years ago, all those 3-4 years ago when we had our first pre-WrestleMania show, and we were talking about all the things that could happen, would not happen, and it's just so crazy to think how far we've come in just a short amount of time with the talent on the main roster and everything else. It's pretty surreal.
So a couple things I wanted to say that you were touching base on too. One of the biggest reasons I wanted you on. So if anyone who's listening on the phone, we've got the Mouth. It's Levi the Mouth, who is one of the guys who started this whole project with me, and one of the original guys. So he's had a lot of ideas. He's the voice on some of the intros on our shows. Sunday was the 4-year. I know we took a 2-year hiatus until Tom Chris's father bought us out. But Sunday is the 4-year anniversary of WCSN. So this would be the first show back since 2014, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, and then,
man.
Yeah. And then the other thing that you just mentioned is, and this is what I was telling people before, is about 3-4 years ago when me and Levi were doing WTR, we were constantly complaining, even Wild Bill, we were constantly complaining about how the WWE is dropping the ball, and all these young guys that they have in NXT should have been brought up. I remember specifically talking about it during the WrestleMania too, and saying, dude, this is dumb. They should be bringing up these NXT guys. They should be putting whatever. And look what happened about 4 years later. I think I was looking at the card. 15 of the wrestlers are actually NXT guys that we had back then. So you've got a card that is full of just young talent besides the Cena, Undertaker, and what's his name? The Triple H match and Kurt Angle. There's really no older talent than Brock Lesnar a little. Everyone else is all the NXT guys that we used to watch back in 4 years ago. we were complaining we wanted to see them, and now we have the chance to see them. So I truly feel for smart fans, we're getting a great WrestleMania, believe it or not. I mean, we may look at it; it's going to be good.
No, for sure. And I'm looking at the card too, and I think that if you look at it on paper, it's pretty impressive. I mean, you look at what was at one point, one of the biggest drawing matches for New Japan with Shinsuke and AJ Styles, and you've got that match here at WrestleMania. That's going to be interesting. Funny enough, too, New Japan Pro Wrestling actually put out the entire match on their YouTube page in HD for everybody to watch, and I think that's kind of interesting too. Obviously, there's a little bit of camaraderie there, but also to give people a chance to see what they should be expecting as well going into WrestleMania this weekend. I think that the big thing is going to be the long-term evolution of the brand, the long-term evolution of the show, and the long-term evolution of professional wrestling in general. So I think that that's what we're going to see moving forward into the next couple of years. So again, when we were here 4 years ago looking at this, it didn't really look very bright. NXT was still starting out. It was still trying to come into its own and get its own identity. Now they're at the point where they've had some pretty memorable matches. Some awesome guys get called up from there. Not to mention now they're coming out with that North American championship as well, bringing up another singles title on the brand. They've done a lot of things to come into their own, and now we're seeing how that pays out on the main roster as well. So it's just like, I think just like Joe Madden said, trust the process, something like that.
Yeah. So we got you on for what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, I got a couple here before I got to jet out. Just fueling up, wheels up here in about 30 minutes, going down to New Orleans.
Oh, nice. So really quick, because then we'll go over the card a little bit later, but with me and Wild Bill. But really quick, so while we got you on the phone, what are some of your obviously matches to watch, and do you have any swerves that we should be looking at that you think that they could possibly do at WrestleMania?
So first off, just going back all the way to, just all the way back to the Hall of Fame. I think it's going to be an interesting Hall of Fame you've got for the WWE. I think, again, you guys touched on it too. You got Mark Henry being, inducted into the Hall of Fame. Funny enough, a couple of people that I was talking to earlier this week are like, wait a minute, when did he retire? I don't actually remember when he retired.
Who, Mark?
Mark Henry.
Yeah, he didn't really.
There was no official announcement for him.
No, there was no big fan. Like, he had that one big event, that one big retirement, and came back a week or two later, the next night.
I think it was forced upon him.
Yeah, exactly.
But wasn't that when he announced his retirement and then turned on Cena, right?
Yeah,
remember?
It was a work, but I think this time it was Vince saying, "Listen, dude, we have no place for you."
No, exactly. So I think it's going to be an interesting night. Just seeing Jeff Jarrett come back, that's going to be interesting. Mark Henry. I'm not a big fan of the Kid Rock thing. I think he's kind of garbage.
It's celebrity.
Oh my God! Couldn't they find any better? Can you just induct Flo Rida at this point? I mean,
he's going to be, because he's
eventually.
He's been in more, I think, WrestleManias than any musician. I think
than the Usos.
Yeah, he's been
in more WrestleManias than Zack Ryder. Okay, just leave it as that. No, I think it's definitely going to be interesting. Goldberg is the one that I think I'm excited to see. I'm excited to hear what he's got to say, because I think he's still got his mental faculties. He just came out of a stint in the WWE holding the strap. I think that was interesting. Paul Heyman inducting him, like you guys mentioned, is a little interesting. I think that they could have gone a couple of different ways, but that'll be interesting to watch as always. So that'll be good. As far as the main event, as far as the show is concerned, the one thing I wanted to ask you guys, what are we at now? 7 hours? What's our total?
So
7 total, right?
Yeah. So about 3 weeks
That's
ago,
insane.
I was bringing it up to Wild Bill and telling him, "Hey, dude, the card I'm looking at, this is before the main card came out. I'm like, there's no way they're going to fit this in 4 hours. I'm like, they're going to have to do like a 2-hour pre-show plus 4 hours. That's 6. So then they announced that they're going to go 7 hours. So they're going to start at 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. From 4 to 6 is going to be the pre-show. They're going to do the 2 battle royals and the 205
The
live.
205 Live Championship.
Yeah, and then they're going to go into the main card, and then they're saying they're actually going to run an hour later. So instead of finishing at 10 p.m. our time, they're going to finish at 11 p.m. So they're literally, that's what, 4, 5,
7 hours.
7-hour show.
I think that's insane. That's when we start having a conversation around what is when do we hit the point of diminishing returns? Because realistically, SummerSlam, the big shows, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, these are exhausting sometimes as fans to watch, even if you're in your own house.
Yeah.
After a while, I mean, I can only watch so much wrestling in one sitting. I know that we're going out and we're meeting up with a friend at his place, for the show this year. And the first thing he said to me is no pre-show. We're not watching the pre-show. We're only watching the main card, the main event. And I'm like, okay, so I guess I'll watch for like an hour and a half in my place and then drive over and see you.
Yeah.
That's part of the issue, I think. Plus, I think that it's one of those things where I do understand kind of why they're doing it, right? They're trying to expand content for the brand on WWE Network. They're trying to give more guys and gals the opportunity to perform and to get the WrestleMania moment. And sure, it's not going. Your paycheck's probably not going to be the same being on the pre-show and being on the main show. But you're there. You're not sitting in the back. You're not waiting. So I totally.
Well, I think that's why he also wanted to do the network, which is he has control of how many hours. But that's the problem I also have with why they are doing this, because after obviously Mania, they're going to be doing the redraft, and each pay-per-view now is going to be co-branded. It's not going to be main branded like we've been seeing this past couple of years or last year. So to that means every pay-per-view now is going to start running, because you need to get everybody in there. And if you're going to represent every title on every pay-per-view from Raw and SmackDown, you're going to be running 4 or 5 hour pay-per-views now.
No way they do that. That's impossible.
It's just, to me, it's going to be, I don't know how they're going to run it. It's a lot of time. And I mean, if you want to represent both championships, the Intercontinental, the U.S. title,
both tag titles,
and the women's champion on both, dude, that's a lot of time.
They're going to have to alternate them. There's no way that they can put that much on at one time.
I think what we're going to start seeing is that, and at least in the last couple of years, WWE has been more open to criticism in the way that they present some of their show and the way that they package some of their product. And they're kind of going through this trial and error phase, right? They're willing to take chances. They're willing to take risks. And it's been paying off, and it's been paying off dividends. And I don't mean that figuratively. I mean literally. Look at where the stock is. This is something that a lot of us don't talk about sometimes, because we get all into the fandom and everything else, and that's great. But look at the stock. I remember when the stock was $9.35, and I said to myself, man, I really should buy in right before the network goes live. It's probably a good idea. Today, is it over $33 a share? It has grown. It has been profitable. They've made the right decisions. Getting rid of the pyro is something we bitched and moaned about for however many weeks. It actually ended up saving the company thousands and thousands of dollars. It makes, gives them a little bit more profitability, and they're able to spit that back out in different, packages and different ways that they're giving us new content. So I give them all the credit in the world for trying new and different things. And you know what? If it doesn't work, they'll probably switch it up again, and that's fine. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we'll see how the future holds after this. I mean, I think the draft's going to be interesting too. But with the card, do you got any major swerves that you think is going to happen? Any surprises?
I think that the big one that a lot of people are talking about, and the one that I'm looking to see for myself, is Roman Reigns turning heel, getting help from Paul Heyman.
Whoa.
Paul Heyman turning on Brock Lesnar.
That's what we I think all three of us agree.
Yeah, I've said that. I think I texted you about that because I think
I'm 100% on board with that, man. I think it makes sense. I think at some point when it comes to Roman Reigns, you need to lean into that character. Now, I get why you couldn't turn John Cena for the longest damn time, because he's really the epitome of the baby face, right? And especially the way that he interacts with the young audience. Roman Reigns is different. Roman Reigns is edgier. Roman Reigns is, he's a face, but he's on the outside of that. And I really don't think that they're as concerned with their merch sales with him specifically as they are with the fact that he can carry the brand consistently. And realistically, we all have to think about this to ourselves. The face of the face of the WWE at some point is going to be another baby face climbing up the ladder, going up against the top heel in the company. And right now, I think that since the WWE is really invested in Roman Reigns, they're going to have to turn him into the top heel in the company. I think it's going to challenge him as a wrestler and as a performer. I think it's going to also give him a little bit more backbone as well, because if he maintains and has Paul Heyman in his corner in some way, shape, or form, and I think it just makes his character a little bit deeper. And then down the road, when he goes back to babyface, as we know these guys normally do, you're going to get a bigger balance between these wrestlers. And that's exactly what we want to see. So that would be my biggest swerve. I would say Roman Reigns turning heel, getting the assist from Paul Heyman in one way, shape, or form. That'll be exciting. A couple of other things that I'm really looking forward to, not necessarily swerves, but just some big spots that I would love to see. I mean, in that triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship, I got a feeling that we might be seeing a double curb stomp at some point, which I think would be fantastic. I'm super excited, believe it or not, for the tag team championship match too, to see who Braun Strowman's tag partner is. And according to some rumors online, people have been seeing him spotted with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Which would be interesting, because there's been a lot of rumors around what are they going to do with Bray Wyatt? Are they going to repackage him? Are they going to reboot him? What's going on? But he looks, for all intents and purposes, the exact same. So he might be that special guest, that special teammate. So we don't know. And then, of course, seeing Daniel Bryan in the ring again as a performer for the first time in a few years here is wonderful. And I'm so happy to see and hear that he's back.
Let me ask you one question, Levi. What do you think of the build-up to a lot of these matches? Other than the Lesnar-Reigns match and the Ronda Rousey match, do you think that they've done a good job building up the rest of the matches?
No, not really. But I think that in the short attention span type society that we have today, I think that even in 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, you can build it. That is something that I do struggle with, because at the end of the day, the show itself, it has to have a good storyline. And if the story between the opposing forces is good enough, I don't really care if it's been 1 month or one pay-per-view, or if it's been ongoing for 6 months. That's fine. But I think that some of the issue is that if you had to put a percentage on it, I mean, realistically, you've got, 2 feuds, maybe 2.5.
Right.
I mean, you've got...
See, I think otherwise.
Well, I don't know. I mean, so here's the thing. You've got Roman and Brock.
Which they've done a good job putting together, right?
Yeah, but that's because of Heyman.
Agree.
But still, it's been well. I don't care who put it together.
Yeah,
they did a good job of
worked.
making it work.
Yeah, AJ Nakamura, I think they dropped the ball on. They could have done a lot better.
Massively dropped the ball.
And I think that where they're lucky is the fact that there's so many wrestling fans out there who just like to see the two of them together, that they really don't care. At this point, they're like, I don't care. I just want to see the two of these guys go. Plus, if this is something that they plan on actually having as a longer feud down the line, whether it resurfaces now, later, before SummerSlam, or again at WrestleMania next year, I think that that's going to be interesting. So that's fine. But look at it realistically. You got Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, which from besties to frenemies to
But that's a good story. But you can live with that match being put together.
I can live with that match, and I'm fine with that. And then you have Daniel Bryan. And it's not even Daniel Bryan really. It's Shane versus versus Sami Zayn and versus Kevin Owens, and Daniel Bryan got thrown in the mix. That one is even less short-lived. And here's the other thing. I hate my biggest pet peeve when it comes to WrestleMania is the Authority or the non-regular professional wrestlers involved in the main matches.
Thank you, Levi.
I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, Taz was bashing Stephanie McMahon for that, on why you just put the baddest woman in the whole planet in a ring, and she's fighting a non-wrestler, and they're making her look bad. He's like, that's horrible booking. You don't do that.
Well, we've been saying this from the original show 4 years ago. That remember, all three of us complained that every time it comes to WrestleMania, there's Triple H. 20 minutes to come down into the ring. He gets the biggest production to enter. He gets all this. There's no reason for that. They did a bad job with Ronda Rousey.
That's bad booking.
Is bad booking right now, right? They should have had something build to her like me and Nick talked about this before, having people cheat to
Mhm.
keep costing her wins and stuff like that, where she demands, something. But you're talking what, SummerSlam to WrestleMania, 3 months, give
Yeah.
or take.
They should.
Well,
She should have
well,
never.
let's-
She
let's
never.
be fair.
But she should have never taken a bump from Stephanie. That was the worst thing.
No, that's so. I will say this. I will say this. In that ring, it's a different animal, right? That's something that they've talked about since when Jerry the King Lawler was announcing, and getting all these guys from outside of the WWE who were coming in. He was like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't even care about that. All that matters is your record inside the WWE ring. I don't care about your UFC or your boxing or whatever record you have. It's what matters inside the squared circle." And I agree with that to an extent, because I think that what it shows is that, hey, Ronda Rousey is going into a different arena. So that is something to say about that. Also, I don't actually think that the buildup was small. I think the only addition that was interesting was Kurt Angle and not The Rock. Now, if it would have been The Rock, I think it would have been a perfect continuation of WrestleMania from a couple of years ago. That would have been the perfect way to do it. But obviously, The Rock being the multi-billion,
The clearance to wrestle.
Not
from
only
what I
that,
heard.
but think about it. You're starting high for Ronda Rousey. Where do you go? That's been my argument all along.
But it's not really starting high if we think about it. And kind of go with me on this for a second. Really, what this is a coming out for Ronda Rousey. They want to show everybody in some way, shape, or form that Ronda Rousey is a WWE superstar. That's what they want to do.
I don't buy it.
She's going up against Stephanie McMahon, who, yes, she is not a performer, but then again, Stephanie McMahon, the non-performer, went up against the Bellas. So, I mean,
not as the main event.
No, but this isn't even the main event. Let's be honest. I mean, this is probably going to be a buffer match between the championship, or it's going to be 5 or 6 down from the championship card, or somewhere in between. The Styles Nakamura and the Roman and Brock match, somewhere in between, because Triple H's ego just wants it that way. It's going to serve a purpose. It's a coming out party for Ronda, and I agree. I still think that they could do exactly what you're talking about, which is take it from here and go to that point, Bill, that you were talking about, which is now she goes on her singles run and all of a sudden keeps getting cheated. That's what I would like to see with her, but I don't know. And Nick, you mentioned it too. You thought the opposite too. You like the shorter programs?
Shorter programs meaning what? Like the pay-per-views?
No, how they set up, like how long it takes them to build up a feud. That
No. What I said is that I think that they did some of these. I mean, if you look at some of these matches, I think they did build up to it pretty decent. They've got great B-roll packages that they can run with it. But I mean, if you run it down, they did great with Lesnar Reigns. They did it. They dropped the ball completely on the Styles Nakamura. They built the Rousey and the Triple H match, obviously, because it's them, pretty good. Daniel Bryan, that came in the last minute. That was a swerve for the company itself. So they didn't have time to build that. It was just like, all right, throw them in there. Charlotte Flair, Asuka, they built that. I mean, that's a pretty good entrance there. Even Bliss and Jax.
Agreed.
So they did pretty good on that. The Miz, Rollins, Balor, no, you really don't hear anything
but
about
you don't
that.
need to build that match because match builds itself.
Yeah. Now, besides Rusev being added at the very last second, and I'll explain why later, the Orton, Rude, Mahal, they've been feuding for a while now, the three of those guys. Besides Rusev being tossed in there, they've been for a while. The Usos and the New Day, besides throwing Bludgeon Day, they've been building that pretty long. The Braun Strowman, not at all. That just came out of nowhere. The Mustafa match with Cedric Alexander, that's just the whatever. And then the Battle Royals, you really can't build. But I think the Taker and the Cena, they've been beating that at the head for the last month. So I think they've been doing a pretty decent role. But you have to understand, too, this is no longer 1980 or 1970. And you can't build a program and have it last a year and then you finally eclipse it. Now you have so many wrestlers and so much time to fill. That's why these programs go quick, because they jump into the next ones.
I'm not talking about every match, but the big, what I consider the big matches should build to some kind of story, at least for a while.
Well, they do, because Vince,
not this fast.
But they make more money off of Reigns than they do off of AJ Styles. We love AJ Styles and Nakamura because of what we see them do, but it's not making Vince money.
Right, but
Reigns is.
but for WrestleMania, you figure you give them each what they deserve, right?
Yeah.
Tell me anybody else that, except for and even the 14-year-old kids now are going online. They know about that match. Somebody should have, you know what I mean? It's not 10 years ago where nobody knew.
Yeah.
The second they typed in AJ Styles in YouTube or whatever, those matches are popping up.
Yeah.
They deserve. I just think that those two guys deserved a 2-minute, 3-minute video to say, hey, this is why this match is so important. Because in the WWE, they've had nothing against each other, right?
True.
Until he won that,
now.
there was no reason.
And they don't mention the New Japan history.
There was no reason for Nakamura to have anything to do with AJ Styles. He wins the Rumble and says, I want AJ Styles. Why? Right?
Yeah.
Well, because he's on SmackDown.
All right. So, hey, at 8:09, do you got to go or are you still cool?
I got another minute. One thing I just wanted to say real quick, too, is just that when you're looking at AJ Styles and Nakamura, I think that less of the issue is that the fact that they don't have a really hardcore WWE storyline actually established. And the bigger thing, the bigger issue has just been that, quite honestly, I think Nakamura's been kind of mismanaged since day one in the WWE.
100% agreed. 100%.
In NXT, I think it was way better, and I think that even there it had its moments. I think that they were still trying to figure him out. I mean, thank God he wasn't a Hideo Itami type to just completely just sputter out, due to injury. But I think here's what's going to happen. That match is going to be an awesome match. I think it's going to open up a lot of people's eyes to the potential of what these guys could do. What I would love to see is a long-term feud between them, going all the way to going all the way to SummerSlam. But we'll see what ends up happening there. I think. But Nick, you mentioned something really good. I'm thinking about this now. We're nitpicking this, but on paper, this is not bad.
No,
this is great.
Not at all.
This looks like this actually looks like a pretty darn good card considering the talent that we have, not to mention all the other swerves that could potentially happen in either the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal or obviously what's going to happen between Cena, Taker. I think, with some of the NXT guys possibly coming up, there's going to be some interesting things that are going to happen. I think it's going to be a memorable weekend event. And I think that, honestly, if I had to put money on it, the worst match of the night that I expect to see, the worst match of the night, is probably going to be the 205 Live match.
I disagree.
Hold on. From a storyline perspective, because they've got nothing. From an actual wrestling perspective, I don't know about you guys. I really don't expect much from the Ronda and Stephanie McMahon, from that tag team match. Wrestling-wise, I think it's going to be probably the worst one.
I also think Bliss Jax might be bad.
I don't know. And here's the reason
why. It's hard to work with Jax.
I love Bliss. I love Bliss because she's got such attitude. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nia Jax pull a Sheamus and just destroy her in under a minute. That's
their best friend. Don't forget they're best friends too, so they might pull. They might put on a halfway decent show.
And I think that the Orton, Rude, Mahal, Rusev
gonna be brutal.
Is going to be a clusterfuck.
Yep.
I would hope that with the experience and the talent that you have between Rude and Orton, and the athleticism and the tenacity of guys like Mahal and Rusev, that you would see something come together. I agree, it's not as well put together, but again, overall, I think it doesn't look like a bad card. I think it's
a good card.
I think it's going to be exciting, and I definitely don't think this is going to be one of those WrestleManias where Nick walks out furious and says, that was an F. That was a crap. That's an F. That's an F.
Yeah.
No, this WrestleMania is shaping up to be good.
All right, so you got to start heading out, right?
Yes, sir.
Where are you going to this? You're going to the Admiral after this, right?
Oh yeah, no, never again. I've learned my lesson.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on.
Who wants to walk with the lion?
I think we're going to start with that from now on. Anyways, dude, thank you for coming on, bro.
Thanks, Levi.
No problem. Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, we'll hit up. We'll get you on more often. Hopefully we'll get Google Hangouts to work so people can see you on here as well too. But thanks for coming on, brother.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, man. Have fun tonight at the Admiral.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right. So that was Levi the Mouth. Pretty cool hearing from him. Let's jump into the WWE card really quick. I don't know why it was calling back again. Gonna jump into the WWE card really quick so that we can get this over with, because I know we're on Facebook Live now as well too. So anyone who's on Facebook Live or watching us on Facebook Live, the whole show is on our YouTube channel, so you guys can head over to YouTube, and when you guys want to watch our shows, you can watch WTR on Wednesdays 7 p.m. Whole show will be on our YouTube channel. We have our older shows on our YouTube channel, then obviously this becomes a podcast version, so you can listen to us all on podcasts on iTunes, TuneIn, everywhere you find podcasts, we're on there and stuff. So anyways, because there's a lot to talk about here, and I've got some swerves. So the pre-show we said for before, they're going to start, I think, with the 205 match, which is going to be Mustafa and Cedric. I think Mustafa takes it for the simple reason of you've got the Saudi Arabian Royal Rumble coming up soon, Battle Royal, and they're trying to get I think it's already released out there, the network, but they're trying to push, and they need someone out there to promote the brand. But I think Mustafa takes Alexander out.
From the day the tournament started, remember I called Cedric Alexander. I think he wins.
All right, so you're going. I'm taking record of this, and we're going to keep track on Twitter here. All right, so then the next match after that, I think they're going to end up going Women's Battle Royal.
Mm-hmm.
I think across the board, everywhere I look, and what I think it's Becky Lynch. She's the only brand name that's going to be in it that they need to put over that's not really in a match.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Becky Lynch takes that. You're agreeing with that?
I'll take Becky Lynch as well.
All right. So we're going X and B. And then this is the tricky one, the Men's Battle Royal. It really, in my opinion, it really depends on who Strowman's, and I like that the WWE is doing that in two ways. The Taker Cena match and the partner for Strowman, they're not telling you until the day of so you can watch. So that's like that appeal of, oh my God, what's going to happen? I don't know. This really depends because of the names that are coming out that may be Strowman's partner. Maybe some of the people that win the not Royal Rumble, but the Battle Royal. So, I mean, right now, without knowing who's going to be his partner, I think it potentially may be Ty Dillinger.
Corbin. Two-time winner.
He's going to be back-to-back?
I think they're going to go two-time. No, because last year didn't Mojo Riley win it?
Oh, you're right. Was it? Yeah, with Gronk.
With Gronk. So I think because they've been talking a lot about people being a two-time winner, I think Corbin wins it.
All right. So, but I mean, watch out though for there's rumors that Big Cass may be back. We don't know what's going to happen to Elias. We don't know what's Samoa Joe, Bray Wyatt, all these things. There's stuff out there that may happen, but I'm still going with Ty Dillinger right now. You're going with Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then we're going. I think they start with the three-way tag team: Usos and New Day Bludgeon Brothers. Who you calling on that?
Usos.
All right, I think Usos too. Here's the only reason I'm going to switch. Maybe. Well, I'm going to have to pick a winner. I can't say switch, but if the swerve goes, if they're moving the Usos to Raw, you're going to see the New Day win. That's if. So if New Day wins, Usos are going to Raw. If the Usos win, then they're staying put on SmackDown. I think the Usos on Raw would bring to the bar and to some of these other tag teams out there some competition, but I mean, I ultimately think the Usos are going to take it overall. So we're going both there. All right. And then you're going with the four-way for the U.S. title, which is going to be Orton, who's currently holding it, against Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, and Rusev.
This is the interesting one.
Yeah. So rumor has it, which is funny, and I was going to post this on Twitter. They're just saying today that Rusev demanded a release when we were talking 2 weeks ago that he demanded a release and that he re-signed his contract.
And that's why they threw him in.
And that's why they threw him in, because now they know what's going to happen. In my personal opinion, I think he re-signed, but he re-signed with the heavy option of that I need to be put in the main, I need to be put in great storylines to push my character. I think they're giving the strap back to Rusev. And that's why he got tossed in there. There's no way they would just throw him in there and have him lose. So I think Rusev takes that.
Up until we figured out about this whole Rusev being in, I was pretty confident that Bobby Roode was going to win that belt back, but now I'm 50-50, and I'm leaning towards having Rusev win that belt.
Yeah, and he's over. That's the other thing too. Like, everyone loves him. His shirts are the #1 selling shirts currently in the WWE. So I think that they got everything going for him, and I know they're jumping on the train late on the Rusev New Day train, but I think that they're going to have to give him the strap, try to ride it out until it's done, and then maybe he works a program with Rude. I think Orton's gone. I think Orton either goes to Raw.
He looks to me like he could give a shit right now anyway.
Yeah.
I think he's not lost it, but I don't know.
He lost interest in it.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be too into what's going on.
Yeah, so I think that it's going to end up being probably Rusev. Jinder, I think, is going to start getting buried. Like,
I hope not, man. He's good. Look,
I love him. He's great.
You know what? He's a good heel. So
Yeah.
they can get use out of him by having him. You don't have to put the belt on him or nothing, but he can be the guy that's challenging and, cheating or whatever.
Yeah, but he's going to keep losing all the time.
Well,
keep in mind,
he
the title
can join
may
Dolph
not
him and
change
Dolph
hands
Ziggler
at WrestleMania, but then change on Raw. Yeah, it could happen. So, anyways, I think Rusev. So you're saying Rusev too? What's happening too, Philly?
All right. I'll go with you on that one.
I didn't pull your arm or whatever. All right, we already did the Usos and stuff. All right, then you got the Bar versus Strowman and a mystery partner. Big Show re-signed a contract. There was rumors going around that Big Show may be his partner,
Rey Mysterio,
but he's pulled his
bicep.
whatever.
He tore his bicep,
and he was at Evolve. So he actually said that he's going to be fighting. I think it was Ospreay. Once his injury's good, so he's a New Japan guy now.
Because he was supposed to fight Liger, Jushin Thunder Liger. He got hurt, so then they put in Ospreay against Liger.
Yeah.
Then Ospreay jumped him, I think, after the match. So then that set up Ospreay, Rey Mysterio.
Then the other rumors are it potentially might be Big Cass, Samoa Joe's name's out there,
Bray Wyatt,
and then now Bray Wyatt is the big front runner. Now the rumor has it that they're going to and I don't know why they're going to repackage Bray Wyatt. But in my opinion, Bray Wyatt's character was the modern day Undertaker. It's a character that you should have kept intact. What I'm hearing is that they're going to give him a complete new look. I don't know if he's going to keep the name, and he's going to shave his beard and everything.
No.
So the rumor has it that the new character he's going to have is going to somehow be connected with the Hardys and with Broken or Woken Matt. And it's going to be something where he's going to be like Sister Abigail now. And that's why he's going to have a clean face. So we'll see what happens. I don't know who his partner is going to be. Regardless, I still
don't win.
I still think the Bar keeps it. And it's probably going to be something like a disqualification because Braun Strowman's going to be bleeding.
Right.
He's going to be beating them to
something will happen.
Yeah, he's going to do something crazy. It's going to be some big crazy stunt, and the Bar wins due to disqualification and stuff. So Bar keeps it, and then they go from there. So we're both in agreement on that. That might be one of the worst matches on the card too. Now that I'm thinking about it,
unfortunately.
Then you've got the four-way dance or the three-way dance between for the Intercontinental title, Miz, Rollins, Balor,
which should be fantastic.
Yeah. So I think a couple things here. I think Seth Rollins goes to SmackDown, and I think that he's going to start fighting some of these guys that I think would be great matches over in SmackDown. I think that they're not going to continue because now I heard that Dean Ambrose's injury may take even longer.
Right.
And they pulled him. So the whole...
But you wonder, is it... I always was of the opinion of Rollins reigns after Mania.
I think it's going to be Balor. And here's the reason why. I don't think they're going to move Styles to Raw, which I initially thought. And the reason for that is that if you bring him over and you try to create that Bullet Club thing again with them, you can't because they already named it Balor Club. And it's not worth putting AJ Styles in something that doesn't have his name or he's not the leader. If it's called Balor Club, then it's going to be them. So you can't really move AJ right now over there until they break up this whole Balor Club.
But it's too
thing.
late now to do the Balor Club should have been done the second he showed up, right? Gallows, Anderson.
They should have.
They should have done it back then. Then you could have built, we talked about this before, the breakup of them. AJ, now you get AJ Finn Balor again. which would have been fantastic. You could have done a lot.
So I think moving Rollins to SmackDown, he's going to have the opportunity now to fight Nakamura, AJ Styles. I mean, you got some great matches that Rollins can get put into. Secondly, I also heard that for this weekend, even WrestleMania is not sold out. So they said NXT's not sold out, Raw's not sold out, and WrestleMania is not sold out. But the WWE anticipates all shows to be sold out by the time the event starts, except for SmackDown. And they said that SmackDown lately has been getting good ratings, but has not been being sold out. So I think they're going to have to put people like Rollins over to SmackDown, and they're going to have to boost SmackDown a little bit so they can start getting some of these tickets sold. But
who does Reigns fight then? Who's Reigns' opponent?
Balor.
Finn Balor? Or do you think
Finn.
the Samoa Joe come back?
Yeah, you'll have that, but I think he's initially going to go into a program with Finn Balor right after that. So Miz keeps the title. You got the reality show that's coming up as well too with his wife
and the record.
And apparently he has the yesterday when everyone thought he was possibly doing a face turn, not happening. That was the finale of his reality show
to push it right.
Yeah, so that is he's going to have the strap so they can push it. Now I don't know if the reality show is going to be on E or if it's going to be on the network or if it's going to be on USA.
I think it's on E with the Total Divas, the same network.
I know it's a show just between him and Maurice, though. So
I hope the Miz wins, and I'd love it if the Miz can keep the belt for another 28 days after WrestleMania to break the record for the all-time Intercontinental Champion holder.
Yeah, I hope he does too. That would be good. So that's that one. That's going to be a great match, though. What else do we got here? I'm trying to go up the line. Then you got Nia Jax Bliss. I think Nia Jax.
For everything that they've done to her, and she's going to win.
Not just that, but I think what they're doing with that storyline too is that they're pushing the whole love the way you look.
That's what I mean.
That's what I mean.
The whole story is built for her to have this triumphant
and they're
win.
doing it for the kids, I think, as well too, so that kids can be like, hey, don't worry about the way you look.
Right.
Look what happened here. So she's going to be like the woman John Cena in a way. She's going to be out there being a spokeswoman and all that stuff. So strap goes on Jax. Bliss, I think, may end up going to SmackDown potentially. We'll see what happens there. Charlotte, Asuka. I think Asuka wins. Charlotte's going to Raw. And the swerve, I have a couple swerves here on this one. Carmella's going to cash in her Money in the Bank for sure,
lose
no matter what. Some people are saying no, but I don't see why would you have Carmella come back and beat Asuka, and then Asuka comes back and beats her on Raw again.
No.
Makes no sense to me. And why would you build up this whole I'm undefeated? Some people are saying they need to do that so then it'll give credibility to Carmella too, because then that way when Charlotte leaves to go to Raw, then they can start doing that Carmella Asuka feud. But I'm like, to have Carmella beat her, that's not.
No, out of everybody to beat her, it wouldn't be Carmella.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. But I think Asuka takes it.
Yes.
And then I do think Carmella cashes it in
and fails.
It would be funnier if they do something else with that, though, that gimmick, and see what happens with it. You think Nia Jax too? You said right? All right,
right. Because we got the Money in the Bank pay-per-view coming up. She has to cash it in so now. Something has to happen.
Oh, White Sox tied, bottom of the sixth. All right, then you've got Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon versus KO and Sammy. First of all, Shane and Daniel Bryan, I think, win. KO and Sammy move to Raw, both of them. There's a swerve, though.
I think there's a swerve. I call swerve kind of swerve there. Somebody's got to turn heel.
So
I'd love to see Daniel Bryan.
They won't,
but they won't do it. But man, would that be awesome to have the three of them together? Like a nice little faction
against Shane.
Oh man!
So Daniel Bryan is the new face of the company now that he came back. So there's no way they're going to turn him heel. Rumors out there are that Shane could potentially go heel, and turn on Daniel Bryan. Now, if he turns on Daniel Bryan, that means then that way he would cost them the match.
Correct.
And then
align
Shane
with
and
them.
KO would come back, but then who would end up winning? It would be KO and
Zayn win. But then you want Shane involved all the time? Think about it.
No, Shane leaves.
Unless Shane builds a faction or whatever and has his guys but just doesn't
Shane
work.
leaves for a little bit, and then when you get the new GM, if it's Hogan or Jeff Jarrett,
But if he's
comes
going to
back
heal,
and kicks Shane out and
yeah,
says
but
you
if
have
he
to leave.
heals, if Shane heals and leaves, why bother?
Well, because they'll probably insert him into SummerSlam, and then it'll be Daniel
And then
Bryan
here
versus
we go again, the same shit.
So I don't know what's going to happen with that one. That's up in the air. Maybe exciting. That's going to be on what they decide to do there. A lot of people got to understand a lot of these finishes. Sometimes Vince calls it like a minute before the match. Sometimes he has like 3 finishes in his head, and then as he's sitting gorilla with the guys ready to get into the ring, he goes, "Nah, guys, we're going to change this. This is the way we're going to do it." So, and sometimes I've even heard that they've changed finishes in the middle of the ring as they're wrestling.
That's well, wouldn't
they said this
surprise
happened
me.
a couple times.
It
even
wouldn't
at
surprise me
WrestleMania.
that they're talking through the referee's earpiece or whatever
and
and
they tell
telling
him.
it or to cut it short or whatever. But
And no, well, I've heard rumors of that Vince has changed on few occasions during WrestleManias and pay-per-views who wins for the simple fact of the way the crowd was reacting, and then he would turn around and say, "Hey, tell whatever that we're going this way, so tell him to take that home." And then all of a sudden, if this guy was supposed to win, the referee tells the other guy he's winning, and then they change it up and stuff.
but they better. Yeah.
So here's another tidbit for you. Remember when KO won the title?
Mm-hmm.
They never told him.
Really?
Yeah, Vince McMahon did it purposely, they said, because he wanted the true reaction of how he would be. So they told Kevin Owens while he was in the ring, and then you can see clearly Triple H telling him, like, hit him. And then all of a sudden he's like, "What's going on here?" And then and that's why they sent Triple H in there. It all happened, and Vince knew it. And they said that Vince also doesn't tell the announcers stuff.
Well, that we've known for a while is that Jim Ross never. He said for years that he never wanted the finishes, right?
Because he wanted to be a surprise.
He wanted to react by what he saw on the monitor.
Yeah, so and that's a great idea. But in a way, if you think about it, with the way Vince did it with Kevin Owens and maybe some other people, it's good that way too. Because then the reaction you got from him, where he was like shocked and almost crying, was just like, "Wow, that's a cool reaction." But anyways,
but there's only a handful of people that you can pull that off with
Yeah.
that are good enough in the ring and have good ring presence to be able to change from what was planned in the back. I highly doubt that happens a lot.
yeah. So regardless, that's going to be interesting match to see. So who are you thinking? KO and Sami Zayn?
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, wait. I don't know how you. I said this 2 weeks ago, and now I think I'm changing my mind again. I don't know how you take that moment away
From Daniel Bryan.
from Daniel Bryan. Fuck. You gotta do
Yeah, but they
something.
did it. They did it to the
Right.
build up to WrestleMania where he was losing all the time. And
Remember
we
when he
hated
lost
it.
to Sheamus in what, 4 seconds?
Yeah, and we all hated it, but that was part of the storyline. And Vince knew it. He's like, "Dude, just keep losing. These guys are hating us."
Yeah.
He's like, "Everyone's going to tune into WrestleMania just to see it now."
I'd like to see a swerve. I think that's the perfect match to have a swerve happen. Man, Daniel Bryan goes heel. How
that
beautiful
would be awesome
is that?
for the
How-
smart fan.
For us, it would be beautiful. Can you imagine the 3 of them
Yeah,
together
just
again?
beating the hell out of Shane.
They could pull highlights from when they were like in
In
Montreal
ROH,
wrestling in
yeah.
like 50 people, or in wherever they were before Evolve and Pro Wrestling Gorilla and all
I
that
would love
stuff.
it, dude. That
You
would be
can pull
amazing.
a video of them like at 22 years old wrestling and stuff like that. I don't know, man. That would be nice. I'm calling a swerve. I say Zayn and KO win.
All right, and then you think that it's going to be Daniel Bryan turning.
Oh, I love it.
All right. So then the next match is going to be all right. So here's my thing. Do you think they're going to put the Ronda Rousey match then AJ, or do you think they're going to screw AJ and do AJ then Ronda?
You're not. Listen, the person that gets screwed is the people that go on after AJ. And so I think what they do is they do AJ
next,
then they do Ronda,
and then they do Roman
the
and
main
Brock.
event, which is
the way I put it.
Unjust.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to be the match after.
Yeah. So Rousey, Kurt Angle, I think that's a no-brainer.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. So I don't even want to. That may be when I stop to go eat or take
That's
a
good.
piss or
That
shit.
match is gonna be brutal.
So especially with Rousey, I mean,
Forget it, Kurt. I'm telling you guys, you watch Kurt Angle wrestle a couple times. He
he's
blew
bad
up.
now. Yeah, he's bad now.
It's not that he's bad. He blew up. He ran out of gas. The guy got winded. You know, let's hope he's
But
been.
just Rhonda too, the way her interviews and her promo works are brutal. The way they're booking her is horrible.
And you got somebody that in the ring that can't help her. You know, If she's in
exactly,
if
you got
she's
two
in with-
50-year-old guys.
No. It's not so much that. Imagine if you've got somebody in the ring that you're wrestling with, and you start doing a move and you don't do it right, the other person knows to help you execute the move to turn the right way or whatever. Stephanie is not
The person.
not that person. You know what I mean? So, she's in the, we talked about who should she wrestle or whatever at the beginning. She's got to wrestle people that are, like somebody like a Natty Neidhart or whatever, somebody that can dance with her and lead her in the ring.
Yeah.
Did you see her try? Did you see her take that through the table when Stephanie put her
the
to
bump
the
that first, that bump should have never happened.
Yeah, but that was brutal.
That bump should have never happened. You're portraying her as the strongest woman in the world,
Right? And you let Stephanie do that.
It's Stephanie of all people takes that bump. It's just like, come on. Hold on, I'm trying to find that Taz. I got it. I just don't know exactly where it was at, where he started going ape shit. But I mean, this is worth hearing. You didn't hear this yet?
The cops and everything else.
With Steve Austin.
Right. It was
Steve
great.
Austin's a legitimate worker, a legitimate superstar. Stephanie, you're not. You're not tough. You're not. I'm sorry. You always were nice to me. And I was always nice to you. And I'm sure that's over. But I'm letting you know that should not have happened. Either Triple H, Steph, or Vince, or one of those writers, someone needs to say, no, you cannot get sarcastic and get when Rhonda says you better apologize, I'm gonna rip your arm out the joint. You can't get up in her face to show the world you're taller than her and do like that and say sorry the way you did. That's not good. That hurts the new talent that you probably have a lot of money in. That is bad booking because that's agenda-filled booking. It's bullshit. Hall of Fame. Never happened.
For him.
Lee Mead's going to have a blast with that one. That's going to be everywhere. Yeah! Bloodshot Jones! Back off!
Dude, I don't want to do CPR, man. Take it easy.
Listen, you pipe down.
Sorry.
Friggin' throw something at you. It's heavy. I just, you know what it is. I get upset because I've seen up close how this goes on.
You've lived it too.
I have. I've lived it. And Ronda Rousey is a 10 times bigger star than I ever was when I was in my prime. But they're handling her already horribly. This is what I was going to tell you before I friggin' snapped. So 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, wherever it was,
he starts going into other, but he's dude, that was spot on that. And
he's 100% right.
Yeah. So, and that's coming from a guy who's been in the business, who sees it. And I mean, I loved Taz when he was wrestling. I love his podcast too. I mean, I want people to listen to us, but he's got a great podcast too. So, especially coming from a wrestler's, out of all the wrestler perspective ones, he's my favorite one, I think. Out of
Mine's
all of
still
them.
Jim Cornette.
You still listen to that guy?
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's okay. I listen here and there,
especially when he talks about the old school stuff. But Taz is 100% right that this is just bad.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's bad. You've got somebody that you can build and do what you need to do, and this is the best you can come up with. I don't buy it.
Yeah,
I don't buy it at all.
And I really don't even want to see it too. But
we're gonna watch it like idiots to see, so we can critique it. And maybe we're gonna be wrong, but there's a pretty good chance that they're gonna find out, just like the Triple H Sting fiasco when he got the rest. That was complete and utter bullshit. That they did all this stuff. This is gonna be right up there again. But once again, I'm gonna argue till the day I die. They have no business being every fucking WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This is what we have to deal with. They get the spotlight. They get thrust. They get the 30-minute entrance. They get everything for no reason.
Oh, I can't imagine Triple H's entrance and what it's going to look like.
Think about it, right? Think about that's going to be 20 minutes by itself.
Yeah, and how much money they're going to spend too.
Come on.
Abreu just hit a homer, 4-3.
Okay.
Are the Cubs playing today?
No.
Oh. All right. So where's Hop Hop, by the way?
I have no idea.
Yeah, he's not even on the boards at all.
We even offered him pizza today.
Yeah, just the way he likes it. Well done and everything. He said no, jalapeno and bacon, right?
Jalapeno and bacon, well done.
Well done. Crispy all around the edges, and he didn't even show up. I bought Evian water for him.
He doesn't drink Evian. He's Fiji.
Nice and chilled. It's like, come on, man.
He's Fiji.
All right, so then the next match going on is going to be AJ Styles and Nakamura. Great match, probably the best match on the card.
If they let him do, if
they give him the time to, which I think they will. That's why I think it's great that we have the network, because they'll give him the time to do that.
I hope they give him the time, and I hope they let him do
what they want to do,
the match that they want to do. Correct.
I think,
and I'll still go on record as saying that match was not properly built to the fans that are watching that show every Tuesday.
Yeah. So who are you thinking?
Nakamura.
I'm going AJ.
Okay.
The only way, and here's the reason why I'm going AJ. One, he can't go to Raw, obviously, because of the whole Balor Club thing. Two, Vince isn't too high on Nakamura, and I don't think they're going to give it to him. But we'll see.
Maybe they set up a rematch at SummerSlam, and he takes the belt back.
If Nakamura wins it, then yeah, they probably will do a rematch. And if that match is one of the best matches, and then they probably will build it. That might be one of the matches Vince may change at the end. I mean, that's one of the matches Vince may go in and say, hey, AJ's winning it. But if that match ends up being like a 5-star, like Vince is like, I've never seen a match like this ever in my life.
But he won't let it. That's going to be my other point, is that as good as that match is going to be, to Vince, that match doesn't draw in Vince's eyes.
Yeah. Right?
In Vince's eyes, the Braun Strowman catastrophe is going to draw more than the AJ. That's the bad part.
Scotty, before I forget, they better write a script for Hardy Boys and Bray Wyatt properly. I like the whole gimmick. So the Hardy Boys are only going to be in the
Battle Royal.
I do think they're going to do something outlandish and crazy during the Battle Royal, where I think you'll end up seeing Vanguard and what have you. If Bray Wyatt is not, I guess, Braun Strowman's partner, then potentially you may have, like they're saying, he's going to come out like Sister Abigail or something
and be part of the Hardy Boys.
And part of the Hardy Boys. That's one of the other swerves I've been thinking of that they might end up doing. I do agree that we probably will see Jeff Hardy as well. I don't know if he'll participate in the Royal Rumble or the Battle Royal, but he may come out with them.
You can throw him in there for a little bit. There's enough.
They might
people
introduce him finally as Brother Nero, or I don't know if that's going to be his name,
right?
Or his brother something else, Hero, and then go from there. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that whole thing. All right, and then the last match that they got is obviously the big match, which is, I don't think it's a big match, but to them it is. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. Obviously, Reigns is going to win it. It's built for him to win it. The writing's already all over the wall. Everyone knows Brock Lesnar's contract's done as of Monday. It'd be dumb for them to do it. Now, I remember the last time this happened, they did keep from everyone that he did resign, though, right before WrestleMania. So they have not let anyone know, and that may be one of the things out there that are going out that, hey, he did resign, but they're not telling anyone. So that would be funny if they swerved and Lesnar crushed Roman Reigns.
Not going to happen.
But they're trying to build Roman Reigns. So he's going to take the title. Believe it or not, remember when you were saying that they're trying to build this up so they can cheer for Roman Reigns? I think it's working a little bit.
It is.
Because people are starting to cheer for him. So what I hope happens is the swerve that I think everyone hope happens. If it's true that Brock Lesnar is leaving and he wants to, and Heyman's working it well out there, if he is, that's saying he wants to go fight at UFC and doing whatever, and it could be all a work, then Vince is just telling him, just keep saying this. It could have even been a work that Brock Lesnar went and took a picture with Dana White. Just Vince probably said, just go out to take a picture so we can tell everybody that you're going to UFC and then you're really going to stay or whatever. And then I would really love, though, and this is what I wanted to say when Levi was on there. I think it would help Roman Reigns' image if Heyman turns, since Lesnar's leaving for the UFC. Even if he resigns, he's going to fight one more time. So he may be gone until SummerSlam. So have Heyman, if he stays, you have Lesnar leave. Heyman turns on Lesnar, and he makes Roman Reigns win. And, dude, the smart fans would love that and cheer for him. And now at the same time, you've got Paul Heyman building Roman Reigns to where you need him to be. And I think that would probably be the best thing for Roman Reigns until they decide they're going to take Roman or Heyman away from Reigns. And then hopefully by that time he'll learn from a guy who could talk on the mic well. So then that will build his future and stuff. But we won't know. I don't know.
How
We'll
about
see.
this? How about Brock wins? The place goes crazy.
Yeah.
Afterwards, Brock says, I'm going to fight in the UFC.
And takes the belt with him.
Vince says, I'm stripping you of the belt. We're going to have a tournament.
But when is he going to say that? At WrestleMania?
The next day.
On Raw. Because literally that is his last day on Raw.
He comes out, says, pulls a CM Punk, says, I'm winning. I won, and I'm leaving with the belt. Vince says, no, we're stripping you. Have a tournament for the belt. That's the dude. If Brock Lesnar beats Roman Reigns, that place is gonna pop like you've never heard anybody.
If Lesnar wins, he resigns.
Right.
That's all.
But I can't imagine them doing all of this
just to let down.
Right.
Yeah, it's got to be a bigger, unless the bigger picture's next WrestleMania. I don't know.
Or SummerSlam.
Yeah, or SummerSlam. So I mean, that could be that.
Maybe they convince him to stick around. When's he supposed to fight? Did they say yet?
Who?
Lesnar, if he does fight?
If he does, they're saying, I think it's
end
like
of the year
August. No, August, September. So
would he be able to pull both? When's SummerSlam?
August. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Lesnar comes back. He says he wants his belt. But I don't know. I kind of get the impression that maybe the people are starting to get sick of Brock Lesnar.
That I think so too. But that's, I think, because of the way Roman Reigns or Paul Heyman and them have been working the angle. That's why I think people are starting to hate him.
No, I think that people want to see the champion,
a full-time guy.
Yeah.
And that's the angle that they're working. That's why Roman Reigns is going out there.
Right. No, I agree. I don't know.
All right. So I'm saying Roman Reigns too, even though I don't want to see it.
We've seen it coming, but yeah.
All right. So here's my other thing. Obviously, Kid Rock's being inducted. It's a perfect time for Undertaker to come as the American Badass. I don't know why. I was a little confused why they didn't have anything on Raw and or SmackDown. I was at least anticipating something possibly on SmackDown to improve the ratings and stuff, but that didn't happen either. So, but again, going along with the whole who's Braun Strowman's partner, they're doing this in a way, I think, to get people to watch. The match is going to happen, I think, regardless.
The match is happening. I also heard that they don't want to take away from the main event from Lesnar and Rousey because those matches are being so pushed that you start mentioning the Undertaker wrestling or whatever, that's going to take away from the other two matches.
Here's my thing. I think we're either going to see a match, or I think they're just going to do some kind of program that they're going to end up working.
No program. That the Undertaker cannot work a program.
No, what I mean by program is like just a small skit, like not a match.
Not going to happen.
But something where he just comes out and beats the hell out of Cena and leaves.
No way.
And it's not really a match.
Oh.
Something like that, where he just comes out and then that's it. Everyone sees him. They cheer for him or whatever the case is. Maybe they announce at this WrestleMania that he's going to be the headline at the Hall of Fame next year. And then he wrestles his last match as the American Badass because he already put his hat down at Roman Reigns. Everyone's saying he's coming back as the American Badass.
All right. I think they have a match.
Either way, match or whatever, I think they're still going to do it. I think what they're going to do is they're going to do, though, hints throughout the show, I think. Where you're going to have like a gong go off in the beginning and then you'll have something else going on. And it's just going to be subtle hints. And it's probably going to happen because I guarantee you any money, they're going to have John Cena sitting like in the front row. Like, because remember you said he's going to go as a fan?
Come as a fan.
Yeah, he's going to be sitting in the front row. Something's going to happen. There's going to be things that are going to be going on. And then all of a sudden Cena's going to hop the whatever. And then the American Badass comes out. So regardless, Taker is going to be there. If we see a match or some kind of skit that they're going to do, it's there. Rumor also has it that The Rock will be at WrestleMania, but he cannot physically get in any altercations per his contract with the movie that he's currently filming. But that doesn't mean that he can't get in the ring and like throw a couple punches and just beat someone up. No one can touch him back to prevent an injury, and then they have to like postpone shooting and stuff. So he will be there, I heard.
How about Hogan?
I heard he's going to show up.
So that's what I heard too, that they're reconciling.
Yeah, and then the rumors are that it's between him and Jarrett for SmackDown GM. So I think he'll be there. Michaels will obviously be there. He's always there now because of he helps out with NXT. And then there's no word on Stone Cold. Nothing. Not even like hey, do you think Stone Cold's going to be there or the older guy? Like no word out of him. So I don't know what's going on with him either. I guess we won't know until, well, no, they probably won't even show. Even if Hogan signs, I bet you any money Hogan won't be at a Hall of Fame, but Hillbilly Jim is one of his buddies, so he may show up. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But regardless, we'll see some of the older guys.
Oh,
there.
yeah, for sure. They'll make a cameo appearance.
Yeah,
somewhere.
they'll do some skits. I mean, you think you're going to see the old NWO guys?
I hope not.
Like you end up seeing like maybe Hall and Nash
I
and
hope
stuff.
not.
Yeah.
Flair would be nice to accompany his daughter.
He might come out with her. I mean, well, he'll be there for sure.
He'll be there for sure, but
he'll be part of the show.
I wonder if he maybe walks Charlotte down the ring.
Yeah, but maybe they just don't want it. Remember when they took him away the first time, just so they didn't want him associated?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. Interesting facts I want to know about is I still don't know what's going to happen with Elias.
Maybe he might. Didn't I? I think I said that he might be the mystery partner.
Well, I said he might. Well, yeah.
But you think he might win the Rumble, the Battle Royal? No,
maybe. I don't know. It's just like Hardy's going to be there, but Hardy's either going to accompany Matt Hardy or be in the match.
So no Elias, no Dolph Ziggler, right?
Well, Ziggler I think is going to be
just
in the Battle Royal,
right? Just in the Battle Royal,
but he ain't going to win it,
right? That's what I mean.
Samoa Joe.
He's ready.
Big Cass.
Big Cass, if he's ready.
I mean, there's
remember, they hold a lot of those guys back for the Monday after too, to not blow your nut.
Do you think anyone? Well, they said that Samoa Joe is going to show up on Monday, so that's why I'm sort of ruling Samoa Joe out for any type of stuff.
Wonder that might work too. He comes in, spoils Roman Reigns' celebration or whatever on Monday,
and they
jumps him, start a feud for a little bit.
What else was there?
But if Reigns turns heel, now you've got to turn.
But I don't think he's going to turn heel. Think about this: when they tried turning Stone Cold heel, and he became
more popular.
Face.
Yeah,
I think that's what's going to happen with Reigns.
I don't know, Heyman.
That's what I'm saying. If Heyman turns,
well, no, it has to be Heyman turns with him.
Yeah, Heyman turns and says, "I'm the new advocate for Roman Reigns," and then he turns around and says, "The new undisputed world, whatever." And I mean, at that point, everyone will cheer for him. At that point, they'll be like, "Oh my god!" And then,
but does Heyman want to do it too? Maybe he's like, you know what?
Maybe he wants to give him a rub and be like, "Hey, man, I got to help this kid out." And do a favor for Vince McMahon. Vince is probably like, Vince, Paulie, I need you here, man.
Maybe
I'm pushing for this kid, and I can't get
what I want. Right? You can do it.
Yeah, you've got the mic skills. Go out there and push this kid over.
But then you take the microphone away from Reigns, which
you will. But he can still talk when he has to. You know what I mean? But hopefully he learns from the way Paulie.
Because Heyman is still
he's
the
amazing,
best.
Amazing. Is Paul Heyman in the WWE Hall of Fame?
No.
Why? For the stuff he's done, but remember when he took SmackDown, like they were competing and then they ended up winning in ratings against Raw. So it's just like he's done so much.
But he has said that he wants nothing to do with booking anymore, right?
No, I know, but what he did,
right? For what he did, right? Correct.
Like the stuff he did in ECW. Now, obviously, WWE owns ECW,
right?
But like what he did with ECW, the little small show that became so big, part of the big three. Then you have like the booking he did, the mentoring and stuff he does with kids or with the wrestlers.
Right.
I mean, he's a guy who should be a lock in the Hall of Fame.
Maybe it's just they're waiting for him to officially retire.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be an interesting one. I'd like to see him doing that
because he's probably one of the top 5 or 6 brains or whatever you want to call it in the wrestling business, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, if I owned wrestling, I would want Paul Heyman to at least be involved with everyday.
You want him to book,
stuff.
But you don't want him to manage your accounting.
Yeah, that was. Did you hear the stories?
Of course, I did.
Oh my god! If you ever sit down with
listen to Dreamer talk about it. Yeah. Listen to Shane Douglas. Listen to the Dudleys talk about what.
Well, no, there's a promo where they were all together, like Taz, Dreamer, Dudley, Devon, Bubba Ray, like all of them.
Well, you're talking about the independent like documentary that they did about ECW from like the start to the end.
I think it was a WWE one.
Oh no, there's one that was done like, as an independent where that like gets into detail.
They go, "Hey, have you ever called Paulie?" And he pretends it's not him, but it's really him on the phone. You're like, "Paulie, where's my check?" He's like, "Paulie's not here. Who are you looking for?"
Or you hear about Tommy Dreamer like loading the T-shirts into his own truck and like doing a lot of that stuff for the guys and.
Yeah. All right, so Big weekend.
Hope everybody enjoys all the wrestling.
Yeah, we're probably gonna get divorce papers from watching. So
And
much wrestling this
for a lot of
weekend.
people who don't know, it's also Sunday is our Easter Sunday.
Yeah, so
we've got to figure out a way to finagle this properly.
I'm already fighting with my wife where she's like, no, the WWE is not going to dictate our holiday.
So that's
going to be pretty interesting.
I'm pushing for Easter dinner early.
Well, I got to disconnect my Apple TV and then take it to my
Oh
in-laws.
no, we're by my house, so I can at least pop it on the TV.
Yeah, I got to watch it over there.
So I can hear my parents and my in-laws yell at me for having this on Easter Sunday.
You're a grown-ass man and you're watching wrestling.
I have no respect. It's a religious holiday.
Big weekend, a lot of wrestling.
Lamb and WrestleMania. What else is better?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even Monday and Tuesday in a way, to see what happens and who gets called up and all that stuff. The Monday Raw for WrestleMania, biggest Raw
Always
usually
big.
of the year.
Yep, big deal.
So we will be back next week, Wednesday, to cover all the stuff and what happened. To see
how wrong we were.
Yeah, see our picks, see what swerves happened and all that stuff. So we'll go over all that. So it's going to be another long show. I know today we're I think like at an hour 40 minutes almost.
Yeah, but it's WrestleMania. It deserves it.
Yeah. And then we will hopefully try to get Levi on. I'll try to figure out how to do the Google Hangout so we can get him on TV, and then he can see us there. And then I think that's pretty much it. I don't know what else we got going on.
If you guys get a chance, make sure to watch the Ring of Honor card and the Impact Lucha cards. It's some good wrestling, something different and something to watch.
Yeah, I'm not too hot on Impact. I do watch Impact here and there.
Some good wrestlers there though. There's some Austin Aries is there, Brian Cage is there.
Lucha, I love the production and how they produce the shows. ROH, huge fan. I mean,
massive.
Honestly, the top two cards I think this weekend is the SuperCard, and people will think NXT TakeOver, but it's not. It's WWE WrestleMania. Top two cards I think this weekend are ROH and WrestleMania.
WrestleMania this year is
stacked. Vince was right when he said it's stacked. I don't need to promote Undertaker and Cena. I mean, the guy's a genius at the end of the day.
Sometimes he falls off the horse a little bit, but I mean, we remember since we started doing these shows again, we were pretty down on them, and little by little they've progressed to getting to halfway decent.
Yeah,
we're not going to get what we want all the time, but at least you're getting something good to watch.
Definitely. So we will be back on Wednesday. There will be no
Sports Crunch Radio
on Friday. It won't happen. We're going to be too busy in the house of God, so we won't be able to do that.
Worshiping that the Cubs get their shit together.
Yes. Actually, we had a thing on Twitter that Monday Marty was lost. We
found him. Thank God he's found well.
He was fighting the Harry Carey statue and yelling at it. So there's a picture of his mugshot with two cops trying to hold his head up. But he's okay and he's asleep now still after a day and a half. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with those guys.
That's all right.
And the Cubs or the White Sox hopefully are still winning.
They're in the bottom of the ninth. They're up 4-3.
Hop Pop finally got a hold of us.
What'd he say?
So in any case,
he's mad at us because now he's got cold pizza to eat.
Yeah. So anyways, we will see you guys next Wednesday for WTR. There will be no Chicago Sports Lunch this Friday, but we'll be back and there's a lot to talk about.
See, what did I tell you? He just texted us if we want to eat.
Well, there'll be a lot to talk about with the baseball. It's going to be all baseball.
Baseball, NBA playoffs.
Davidson is on fire right now.
Relax.
It's my favorite White Sox right now.
I told you guys I drafted Avi right to my fantasy team. I committed a cardinal sin.
Hey, dude, he launched one yesterday.
He hit one today.
Oh, I'm telling you, man, these kids could play. I just don't.
Relax, Mr. Commercial.
I don't think they're going to be consistent. But
are you going to give us your top 5 that turn into top 11 things you love about the White Sox this year?
Davidson, number 1. All right, guys, we will see you guys next week.
And we missed Tom Chris today.
Everything went perfect too, even the phone.
And we went to Facebook Live this time.
Oh, I forgot about Facebook Live. I haven't even. No, it's on. I just haven't had any
interaction.
No, I haven't went on there to see if people were trying to interact with us or not.
Probably Hop wanting to know where's the pizza.
Yeah, probably. All right. Anyways, guys, we will. Hour 10 minutes. That's half the show.
Shit.
So we will see you guys next Wednesday, guys. Top guys out.
Later.